Hi students, in this section we are going to discuss about health and safety in construction. So this is going to be a part 1. So we are in this chapter, in this presentation, we are going to discuss regarding how to manage health and safety, what are the terms means of health and safety in construction, and what is risk management and all. So official websites to guide health and safety at construction industry are mentioned here. Health and safety executive, you can see here. So this is health and safety executive, so which is an official website. And the next one is health and safety authority, which is, you can see here, health and safety authority. And the third one is occupational health and safety, and this is occupational health and safety. So these are the 3 official websites which will guide you for health and safety, to manage health and safety construction. And these are the 3 websites which you are required to do it in your coursework. So let us discuss about the coursework in a separate video. Now coming to the content, these are the keywords which we generally use in health and safety and risk management in construction process, which is ethics, cost, responsibility, penalty, law, reasonably possible, or practicable. So let us see where we use all these words. Now let me go to the next slides. Generally the most severe part and where we need to concentrate much is the word accident. So you might have heard about various construction accidents and why it is required to maintain health and safety policies, regulations, rules in construction. So this is the main one, because accidents have both perspectives, such as emotional side, and they are very expensive. Emotional side means, like, if any person gets an accident, he suffers and his family suffers and dependents on him suffers, the company suffers, so work delays, and there are a lot of legal complications. So accident is causing a severe emotional side. And the next one is, it's very expensive. So the hospital charges or the penalties, or penalties which the company or insurance people has to pay, delay in work. So there are a lot of cost implications. So accident is also going to be very expensive. So more health and safety legislation says generally that you have to follow health and safety as reasonably possible. Like, you should follow that as much as possible. So what do you mean by health? So health means, like, a person, how can you say you are healthy? So based on your physical and mental well-being. So simply defining health as a person is good enough, strong in physical and mental status, can be defined as health. So coming to safety, so we have to be in safe situation and maintaining our own safety. So protection of workers, passers, or visitors. Like, workers means who are working at construction site, passers means like who are passing through the construction site, and visitors are like any students or going for site visits, or any authorities coming for any checkups, or any any authorities generally coming to inquire how this project is going on, like anything like regular inspections. We call generally it as inspections. So what forms of health and safety, like how can you maintain safety? Like moving, there might be risks or hazards at construction site, like moving plant and machinery, working at height, falling materials or tools. So these are all causing accidents and causing health and safety issues. Collapse of excavations or scaffolding, overturning of cranes or other lifting equipment. So generally all this comes under risks or hazards at construction sites. So now every construction company has to assure the welfare of the people. If you can see, welfare means keep and restore their health and well-being, like taking care of employees and taking care of the staff well-being. So every construction company should have a site accommodation with standard amenities, pure drinking water, and there should be some place provided for staff to relax, drink some tea or coffee, drink some water, had some food. So these are the facilities to be provided for the well-being of the staff or the well-being of any worker or any person working at construction site. And the major first aid, or sometimes a huge construction, there must be one wellness center where at least a nurse or a doctor can take immediate action. Then managers should ensure legal compliances of health and safety and welfare. And then positive and active safety culture should be entertained or encouraged at construction sites. Then according to CIVL 2000, there are some 5 major components like safe systems of work. So let us go and discuss about the safe systems of work. The first one is personal. So a personal means like individual safety. How can I maintain individual safety? Like it should be competent. A person must be competent to do the task, or a person must be competent to do the allotted work. And the person should have it, whatever the work might be. It might be supervision, it might be operating an equipment, it might be working at heights, whatever it is, whatever the task is given to a person, he must be competent. He must be competent of doing it, and he must have appropriate training on those tasks, like how to manage it or how to implement it. So what are the risks involved in it, like how to handle the work. So, and he must be correctly supervised by the superior. Like whenever a human tendency is, if someone is supervising you and someone is looking your work, obviously you maintain some seriousness and sincerity, and you means like a person generally do the work in a correct way, but there is no supervision and no one is observing them. Like they may take an advantage of being lazy, or they may just move out of the box. So that's why the supervision is also plays a major role in maintaining safety. Then coming to supervision, so it might be a direct supervision who is generally a foreman, and the supervisor should motivate the workers to do work in safe conditions, and he must guide them. He must guide the workers to follow appropriate health and safety standards while performing any task. The supervisor should provide necessary corrective actions. Like if the worker is not following health and safety, he must immediately take an action, maybe such as putting on fines or giving him a warning. And there must be some serious implications, because safety comes for not only the personal safety, because the mistake done by any person affects another person, or it might cause severe disasters at construction site. So everyone should be personally very careful while performing any work. Sorry, the PPT is going back every time. The next one is a working environment. So the working environment must be maintained very safe, and safety standards should be followed. The safe place of work and standards. So working environment should be free from noise, it should be free from vibration and the plant and machinery. So whatever the working atmosphere or working environment at the construction site should be free from all these things. So the working environment shall continuously monitored, and it should have already identified the hazard identification during the work, because generally one should aware of what are the hazards at a construction site, or any work is going on. You must be able to know beforehand that what are the hazards that specific work may cause. So procedures. So generally, what are the procedures you are following at construction site? Like what are the safety guidelines, what are the safety policies, what are the safety precautions, and what are the risk management, hazard identification, and control measures all comes under the procedures which generally follow at construction site. And permits, which are confined space, manholes, tunnels. So if there is any earthwork is going on, if there is any danger, it must be covered with some barricades, or there must be some restriction, no entry boards or stop tags. So it should be the permit should be given only for safe sites, and wherever there is a chance of a risk or chance of an accident, it should be prohibited. Okay, so then a risk, as you can see in image, we are all doing the risk regularly using mobile while driving. So this is actually a risk. So this photo is kept only to motivate you people not to use your mobile phone while driving. So what is a risk assessment? It is a careful examination of what sort of activities or what sort of work or what any type of task could cause harm to the people, so that you have to wait, like you have to check how severe it is, what are the chances of that risk, so which are generally called as severity and likelihood, which you are going to understand in the next slides. So this is the process is called health risk assessment. So you can read it in health and safety executive. As I have told you here, whenever you go to this health and safety executive, there is a column called risk assessment, and you are going to read the whole concept of this for your coursework. So you are going to research this website and use the information for your coursework. Then, so how can you identify, or what are the major steps of a risk assessment? First one is you have to identify the hazard, and that hazard you should decide on how it is going to harm, and then how you have to assess the risk, and you have to decide on how to avoid that risk, like preventive measures. Then after you identify the preventive measures, you have to decide on control measures. So how can we prevent, or how can we control that risk? And later on you have to calculate the remaining risk of the project. Then you have to make plans for the remaining risk and record your findings and implement them, and you have to review your assessment and update if needed. So these are the basic steps for risk assessment. You can read more well in detail in the website I have shown. So finally, hazard. So hazard is something that which can cause harm. So hazard, if it is working at height, so it is an hazard. So what is the risk? The person may fall down, or any material from that height may fall down and damage the property or any person who is under it. So that is the risk. So please try to understand the difference between hazard and risk. Hazard is any item or any activity which have potential to cause harm. So we have given some examples here, like working at height, deep excavations, electrical wiring. So electrical wiring is an hazard. Current shock or electric shock is a risk. So moving plant or vehicle, so that is hazard. Accidents are risk. Mixing mortar and plaster, machine wood, working for a ladder, all these are hazards. Now coming to a risk. Risk is what is the chance of any accident because of the hazard. A risk is likelihood of potential harm from a hazard being realized. So the level of risk depends upon the likelihood of harm occurring, the potential severity of the harm, and the number of people who might be exposed to hazard in the question. So these are the major risks. So this is the difference between hazard and risk. So this is what we would like to discuss, because this is the starting topic, so it will be starting to your coursework also, and let us discuss about the coursework especially in the next video. Thank you so much. And after this there is a formative assessment uploaded which is having very few questions, so please kindly go through it. Thank you so much.